Kala Mihawa Bashim Mihawa Shai Wahara Kakodash. Shalom, peace and blessing to the elect of Israel. This may be short, but I'm gonna get straight to it. Shalom to all the diligent brothers teaching the truth, starting from here and to the ends of the earth. So it's just straightforward, some wisdom from King Solomon that I've been meditating upon recently that I want to share, which is Proverbs 23 and 2, which is the title. And put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite. So if you are a man that needs more discipline, if you're given to appetite, and this is, manifold, like the word is two-edged sword, manifold, considering the context of this, which is why I say it's manifold, because appetite can be more than just what you physical want to eat. Your appetite could be things that may not be expedient, or could be you indulging in stuff, something in excess. Or anything that may not be good for you in a moment, or if it's not the season for something. So wherever this is applicable, if you're given to something that's, for lack of words, not the most expedient, or too much, or not the season for something, and you're given unto it, it has control over you. You need more discipline, whatever. Put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite. Let me see what the NLT says. Basically, check yourself, keep yourself in check, discipline yourself. Basically, that's not good. If you are a big eater, put a knife to your throat, the NLT says. Basically, keep yourself in check. If you got that thought, imagine putting a knife to your throat, actually, because if you are a man that is given to your appetite, whatever you desire in that moment, you're going to act on it. Put a knife to your throat. Keep yourself in check. Why I put a knife to your throat? Because you know that I can die. If I don't keep myself in check, I can die. So put a knife to your throat, like chill. Don't kill yourself trying to indulge in excess and whatever in the wrong season or anything, doing too much, acting on anything that comes to your mind. Chill. Again, put a knife to thy throat. This is wisdom from Solomon. Proverbs. Continue on. It says, 1 Corinthians 11:31. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. Right? So if we would put the knife to our throat, or put our foot down, simply having discipline, we won't be judged, because we won't do something to be judged. If we correct ourselves, get ourselves right, keep ourselves in subjection, keep our bodies in subjection, keep that discipline, within us, then we won't be judged. Because we took care of ourselves, judged ourselves, instilling that discipline in ourselves. Denying, he says, Matthew 16:24, then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. And a part of that denying himself is abstaining from appetites a lot of times, certain things, abstaining from, denying your appetites, which is anything that's access or no good. Stuff that you need to abstain from, stuff that you know that you need to refrain from, reduce. So put a knife to your throat if you find yourself lacking discipline. Put a knife to your throat. Actually, not actually, but there's a time for everything, you know. So if it's not the time or season, you know, it's not the time or season. Simply as simple as that. And you put a knife to your throat. Yep. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. So we may have urges or desire to do something, but it's not in season to do it. So what do? We don't do it, or we put a knife to our throat, whichever fits your situation. Well, no, you put a knife to your throat. Because if you have an urge to do something that's not in season to do, then put a knife to your throat. Basically, keep yourself in subjection, reminding yourself that you can die. Continuing, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. So it's a time to everything. Back to verse 1, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. NLT that says, for everything there's a season and a time for every activity under heaven. So a man that's given to appetite will do stuff that's out of season, and that's not going to get him. That'll lead to bad results. Doing things out of season really leads to bad results. Sirach 37:27, my son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. So you learn yourself, figure out what you can indulge in, what you can't indulge in, because every brother, every sister, everybody's different. Everyone's just different. What he can do, he may not be able to do. You know, that. So prove thy soul in that life. See what is evil for it. Once you figure that out, you know, that's you can better discipline yourself, basically. Refrain from appetites, things that you're not the best at dealing with, or anything of that nature. How it's applicable. Wisdom of Solomon 6, it's talking about wisdom in this chapter. and how she, let me just get the scripture. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. Discipline is associated with strength. We want discipline and we want strength. Wisdom is that discipline. If we don't have discipline, she won't come near us and she won't increase our discipline. You may have to discipline yourself with putting a knife to your throat. First Corinthians 9 and 27. But I keep under my body and I bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. So we may have to put a knife to our throat sometimes. We're not always as strong. We're not always as, yeah, we're not always as strong. We have weak periods, and in those weak periods, we may have to put a knife to our throat, for real. If you just have to do that. That's some wisdom. Put a knife to that throat. If they are weak in a certain moment and you give in to appetite, put a knife to that throat. Proverbs 23 and 2. Put a knife to thy throat. Thou be a man given to appetite. Shalom. Shalom.